Success is hard. Not because you're not smart, not because you're not talented, not because you're lazy. Success is hard because in the beginning, everything depends on you. Every decision, every task, every problem, every ounce of progress. If you don't wake up motivated, nothing moves. If you don't show up, everything stops. That's the part no one talks about. From the outside, success looks simple. People see the finished product, the business that runs smoothly, the creator who posts consistently, the athlete who performs effortlessly. But what they don't see is the phase before systems existed, the phase where everything feels chaotic, where effort doesn't always equal results, where progress feels slow and unstable. This is where most people quit. They mistake difficulty for failure. They assume if it's this hard, maybe it's not for me. But the truth is, it's hard for everyone before systems are built. In the early stage, you rely on motivation, and motivation is unreliable. Some days you have it, some days you don't. And when motivation disappears, so does progress. That's why working harder isn't the answer. Hard work without systems leads to burnout. Discipline without structure leads to exhaustion. Ambition without process leads to frustration. Systems are what change everything. A system is a repeatable process that works even when you don't feel like it. It removes emotion from execution. It replaces constant decision-making with simple steps. It turns chaos into order. Without systems, success feels heavy. You're always behind, always reacting, always overwhelmed. Your mind is cluttered with questions like, what should I do next? Am I doing enough? Why isn't this working yet? With systems, those questions disappear. You don't wake up guessing, you wake up executing, because the work has already been decided. Think about it. Airplanes don't fly because pilots are motivated. They fly because systems are followed. Hospitals don't save lives because doctors feel inspired. They save lives because procedures exist. The same applies to success. People who look naturally successful aren't relying on willpower. They're relying on systems built over time. Morning routines, workflows, content schedules, training plans, decision rules. Systems create consistency. Consistency creates progress. Progress creates confidence. But here's the hard truth. Building systems is uncomfortable. At first, it feels slower than just pushing harder. You'll want to skip structure and just grind. But grinding without systems is like pouring water into a leaking bucket. You're busy, but nothing compounds. Systems are built when you stop asking, how can I work harder, and start asking, how can I make this easier to repeat? Instead of doing everything manually, you document. Instead of relying on memory, you create checklists. Instead of reacting, you plan. That shift is what separates amateurs from professionals. Professionals don't depend on mood, they depend on process. And once systems are in place, something powerful happens. Progress becomes predictable. You know that if you follow the system today, results will come later. Not immediately, not magically, but inevitably. That's when success stops feeling fragile. You're no longer one bad day away from failure, one missed workout away from quitting, one low energy morning away from falling behind. The system carries you when motivation can't. And here's something most people miss. Systems don't make success easy. They make it sustainable. They remove friction. They reduce mental load. They free up energy for creativity and growth. Instead of constantly starting over, you build momentum. Instead of fighting yourself, you work with yourself. That's why success feels impossible before systems and inevitable after them. But systems aren't built all at once. They're built one improvement at a time. You start by noticing patterns. What slows you down? What wastes your energy? What do you repeat every day? Then you simplify. You remove unnecessary steps. You automate where possible. You standardize what works. Over time, effort decreases while results increase. That's leverage. Leverage is the real advantage successful people have. Not more hours, not more talent, better systems. And the moment you experience that shift, when results start coming from structure instead of struggle, you realize something important. Success was never about pushing harder forever. It was about surviving long enough to build systems. That's why patience matters, because systems take time to design, test, and refine. They don't reward urgency, they reward consistency. Most people quit right before the payoff, not because they failed, but because they never stayed long enough for systems to take over. If you're in the phase where everything feels hard, where progress feels slow, where effort feels heavier than results, you're not broken. You're just early. You're in the system building phase, and that phase is uncomfortable by design. But if you keep going, if you keep simplifying, if you keep building processes instead of relying on motivation, one day you'll notice something strange. The work feels lighter, the progress feels smoother, the results feel more consistent. Not because life got easier, but because your systems got stronger. That's when success stops feeling like a fight. That's when it becomes routine. Success isn't hard forever. It's hard until the systems are built. And once they are, you don't chase success anymore. You simply follow the process that creates it every single day.